And welcome everybody to another episode of the Empty Out the Clip podcast, the OTC. My name is Cams and I'm here in the heart of West Auckland with the brothers in the house, Leti and Eddie. What's up, WesWes?
What's up, usos?
Hello, usos.
Hope you guys are humbled today to come on the podcast because this will be a very humble show.
Very ulpula, mate.
Yep, very humble podcast. Very humble to be here. So let's get on and do some humble shout-outs. Let's go, Eddie.
My usual shout-outs, my listening boys, Kusai Fitness, my brothers Leo, Don, Waki. Special shout-out to another niece's birthday this week, Acacia. Yeah, I got three nieces, or 3 birthdays in this month, and they're 1 week apart, so yeah, too many birthdays, too much eating. And a shout-out to my young nieces and nephews, because they saw the intro to the last one and I didn't shout them out. So Puawai, Maccabee, and Avery. Yeah, that's my shoutouts.
Nice, us. I just wanted to start off with condolences to the Mula family. Shout outs to Anna for the passing of her dad, and to the Tokos, Mickey, Stan, Dion, and Nancy Dian, Francis, Shane, Rob, and Francis Muller. Yeah, thinking of you all during this time. Another shout outs to my Toko Sonny, to the bowl. Man's been catching up with me on Snapchat, man. Just hurry up and pop over, dogs. Like, I'm so procrastinating, man. Shout outs to my brother, Baya Del up in Brizzy. Another one's to my cousin Phil. So Phil, when I dropped off the stuff to him, his price pack, and he was telling me he was gonna possibly go down and support the Turk under 17s. The man actually showed up. So shout out to him for putting in the effort to go do portraits and profile pictures for all the boys for their league careers. And another one's to my cousins Josh Xiaosi and Okuso Yosua. They coached the Turk under 17s last minute, and I caught up with the bros last night. It's good to see someone who's put in his time and knowledge into the youth, and he's come out with the head puncher job. So proud of you, cuz, and proud of your boys' wins. And my last one's to my nephew Elias. I ended up dropping off my boots to him because I saw his boots were ripped. Shout out to my cousin Joanne and Agnes. They came up from Puebla. And then also to all the boys that made the effort to come up and support the Turk under 17s from the hut and from Puebla. So now very, very proud moment over the weekend, starting from Friday, to see the boys rip our small nation, man. You know, rugby league's in our blood. It's always been in our DNA, and there's nothing like we can't do. Just proud, man. That wraps up my shout outs, man. But you can.
Sweet boys, so we make shout out to all the Niueans out there for Niuean Language Week. Celebrate you guys' week of culture and language. It's good that New Zealand do this for all the Pacifica cultures. So it's good to have that here. And shout outs to all the listeners of the WesWes Network. And remember to tune in to the Empty Out the Clip Facebook page if you want to see what we talk about. You can throw up some articles or some comments on the Facebook page, the Empty Out the Clip Facebook page, and we'll shout you out on the podcast and discuss those topics. Also, you can catch us on our website, www.weswesnet.com. There's a few articles and links to our other podcasts on there. We've got our Channel 135 podcasts, our movies, TV shows, hosted by myself and Eric. Dropping every week. We're reviewing each episode of the Penguin that's on Neon, streaming right now in Soho on Sky. If you've got that, so catch the Channel 135 podcast on Spotify and YouTube. You can also find the WesWes Network on YouTube as well on our channel. There you can find the video clips to all our Empty Out the Clip podcasts, our NRL 135 Footy Show podcasts, our Channel 135 podcasts, and everything else that we have on the network. So yeah, man, just if you want to jump in our YouTube channel, just do a like and subscribe, and you'll get updated on the latest vids coming your way. Sweet boys. Man, it's been a good week, but how has your week been? Start with you, Eddie.
No, it's been good, eh? Just the usual physio work, but man, I've been watching a lot of gaming clips, eh, on TikTok. Just some of the boys on there like showing some old clips and making some new ones. So it's pretty cool seeing especially like a lot of islanders in the gaming community like excel. So I've been watching Cool V82 and Hyper Tyranitar. Some good gamers out there, eh? And it's good because like you know they can turn into a business, make some money. So just been watching those, watching yeah, like everyone else, just watching a little bit of the sport. And no, yeah, it's just been a chilled weekend, just birthday celebrations and whatnot, and trying to be consistent at the gym. So this is my first week that I've been to the gym like every day, so I haven't missed a day. So just trying to keep up with the consistency. But yeah, basically that's been my weekend. How about you, Let's?
Nice. Oh, week's been physically demanding at work.
Ooh,
Um, they got me batching powders. It was pretty simple to pick up, but it's just a lot of biffle inside the from opening up all the sugar and all the bags, tapioca bags, starch and stuff. Yeah, it felt like a bit of a drag. Just going from wet areas and then going into the powder room. But yeah, man, still looking for a new job. Like just trying to find something. Like, bro, it's amazing how many people are applying for jobs. Yeah, I just need that nice shift for me at the moment. But otherwise, now I'm surprised my cousin Agnes reached out to me. Her old man's my mum's oldest cousin, and he's just like he was pretty much the head poncho down in Puero, and our family down in Matawala. But he goes just I was amazed that she messaged me during the week. She didn't say that they were coming up for this tournament. But I love how she chucks in her little stabs about if you show up to that stuff. Like, I try my best. I've been busy for the last 20 years, but I have taken my kids to as much Turk stuff as I can. Mostly tag and just as of late the Easter tournament that we went down to at Hut City. But no, it was just good to see her boy play, man. Like he's got game for a kid who's only like 15, playing under 17s. He held his own. And it was nice to catch up with my cousins last night, Josh and Okuso. When I was at school, Josh was at St. Paul's. He was playing halves, and my cousin Okuso was at La Salle. He's fullback. And like those two, bro, like I used to crack up at hearing them talk about when they'd played the Catholic schools, especially when La Salle had the Moesca, because they'd always play each other, right? And like most Turks, like when you play against another Turk, it's sort of like you owe it to the other guy to play your best and your hardest, because the Turks they come and watch is mostly family, right? So you're watching both your nephews go at it. And yeah, it was just cool to catch up with my cousin, man, because it feels like we only catch up ever so often. And it was just mean that they had somewhere last minute to sort of be hosted out in Mangry. I got home at about 1:30 this morning. That was from being up there about 7 o'clock at night after the boys had done their dinner. But yeah, I just like being in places where I'm surrounded by all my family, and it's always random, man. Like it's amazing. Like I saw Phil like just the other week, and he was telling me, "Oh, I might go and take a photo." Then the man's wearing an official Tokelau Rugby League shirt, and he's on the sideline holding the camera, And then like just funny that I was trying to catch up with my cousin, but in the crowd that was there, it was hard to see her. And then eventually, when the game finished and the boys come off, I saw where my cousin was, and we just quickly tried to catch up because she was staying out of Mineral. But no, I'm just grateful, man. I'm grateful that like social media can do that. Like you can reach out to your family and say, "Hey, we're coming up," and because I've started this new job, that's mean. It's like fuck, I'm not on that. Hey, I'm not in tomorrow because I'm on that. Hey, it's not good enough. Like you can't just tell us now and then take tomorrow off. It's not good enough for us. So I'm just glad I got to see my cousins and watch my nephew, and then managed to give my nephew my boots, man. And yeah, they upset Fiji today, and Fiji was the team, only undefeated team, the tournament. So I'm happy. Yeah, just sucked that I didn't get out there this morning because I was just crashed out. But another thing I've been doing, and I probably didn't tell you guys, but last week I started sleeping outside on the deck in the cold. I sort of did it for a mental well-being challenge, but in my mind, I sleep better in the cold. But also, I wanted to put it out there to my kids, like, do they really appreciate what we have? You know what I mean? If you drive through Henderson, you'll see people sleeping in doorways. So I just sort of put it to myself, I'll sleep outside and see how really cold it is, man. And man, I just had like a mink blanket and a awful fucking. I felt the cold every time at 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning, And so they really humbled me, because when I feel like that, I felt like I need to get my ass up and go to work, because I have a job, but I also need to appreciate, like, the life that I have and what I have. So I'm not blind to the blessings that I have in my life, And I got my kids out there on Friday night, and they slept in. One of my kids, she slept like it was nothing to her, But I just really wanted my kids to realize, like, be grateful for what you have, man, because not everyone has somewhere safe and warm to be at night, But no, it was pretty cool, man. Like, it's funny, like, you can post it on your socials and no one asks us anything, but then I've met lots of my toko Sonny, the man first thing he goes, Docs, you're good, like, what's up? Like, you're in the cold, like, why? So it's good that people that follow you actually show concern as well, and not just putting on the clickbait ones. But that's been my week, man. How about you, Kems? How's your week been also?
Yeah, man. Same old day. It's been pretty chilled at work. Just trying to get through the day, and just can't wait to get home and relax and do some writing. But I started my course. I started a course. It's a diploma in sports writing. So got my first assignment in the mail. So it's online. It's online assignment. You get a hard copy, and plus you can do it online. It's a year, eh? So got my first assignment and had to punch that out this weekend. I'm almost done, but it's kind of cool, eh? Because my first assignment, what I have to do is, like, I have to watch a live sports game, either at the game or on TV, and write a match report for it. And the only thing you've got is like you read the match reports they have in the papers and copy that, not copy word for word, but just copy the style of it. And it's only 300 words, so I'm struggling with the 300 words, because when I finished my first draft, it was way over, and I was not and I just finished halftime. I was like, fuck, gotta chop it down. But it's fun, It's fun. It's really fun to do, But yeah, I'm struggling with the 300 words. Probably have to be a little bit more creative there. But I did the game, the Kangaroos versus Tonga game on Friday night. So it's Friday night, Yeah, it's Friday night. So yeah, I'm just doing that. Doing that at the moment, trying to cut it down from 700 words to 300 words. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, man, just doing that. I'll probably talk about it on what have we been watching, but man, I got your, just from what you said, last week, because you said you watched Sports Cafe. So I watched that as well, and I watched the latest one, because Matthew Richards over here.
Yeah.
And man, that was a cool hour of podcasting, man. But I'll talk about it more in the segment. But I really enjoyed that one, It's one of those authentic podcasts. It's probably refreshing, because you finally get to see guys that are in mainstream media just sit down and talk, like, be themselves, and that's what you want, man. That's what you want. So yeah, watch that. And also checked out Seller, his new podcast with Nigel Wangana. I think it's called the Pacific Athlete Podcast or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good podcast too. So I'll talk about that more on the segment. So yeah, man, it's good to see. And I've noticed too, all these mainstream guys starting their own podcasts, and putting it out there. Obviously, Nixon and Nate, they have their one too, and they had Justin Norms on from the Morning Shack, and it was right on time for New Zealand Language Week. Right on time for one of the topics we'll discuss later on too, about the humbleness that came out of Blue TV. But been a week of just excitement, excitement for me starting this course and doing some writing, and I love writing, and it's probably a passion that I've always had for a long time, but it was always like pushed to the side for some reason, because I remember loving it when I was at high school, but I never sort of followed on to it until probably when we started the WesWes Network. started to write. But if you notice on my Facebook page, I'm starting to write more, and that's good practice too. Because to be a good writer, you got to write heaps. And I've been starting back writing my movie reviews. So if you look at if you see on my if you follow me on Facebook, you'll probably see more movie reviews coming out. I'll probably try to do one a week or maybe more, 1 or 2 or 3 a week. Yeah, but it's good. It's good. It's good for the art form. It's good to get your thoughts on paper out there, and I think that's what it's all about. Just get your opinions in that out in the open, so they can get critiqued and thrown out if it's bad, or carried on if it's good. That's another theme for what we're going to talk about on this podcast. But yeah, man. Yeah, it's a good week. It's been a good week. Sweet boys. Let's get into our topic. So, Eddie, you put this one up. So, a hospital in Waikato put out a memo to all their staff, their nurses and doctors, talking about how some patients were complaining that they were hearing some foreign languages happening, spoken from the nursing staff. And maybe in their wards, I don't know, maybe in their wards, and they sort of complain to the head nurse or to the hospital, and then which they put out this memo to their staff. So no foreign language allowed because of communication, and things might go wrong with the communication. We don't know. So yeah, man, it came out in the paper, and I saw it before you put it up on the page. But then I was thinking, man, another debate to talk about when it comes to diversity in this country and language. But they were complaining because if you think about if you've been to any emergency ward lately and see all the nurses, I mean, you can see that there's a lot of Filipino nurses, there's a lot of Asian, there's a lot of Pacific Island nurses, right? So I assume that these are the languages the hospital was talking about. But what were your thoughts on that, Eddie?
Yeah, I was when I first saw the title, I was like, oh my God, like what's going on? If it was like nurse to nurse, I understand if they need to speak in English. If it was from nurse to patient, sometimes being able to speak the same language as the patient helps them be more calmer. It's easier for them to give treatment. I've got a niece who was well, she's a nurse now, but when she was starting to become a nurse, she worked at an old people's home, and I remember this. She was telling the story of this the Samoan lady who didn't have much English, and she was struggling to get into the shower. She was refusing to go into the shower for some reason. And my niece, she's Afakasi, so her Samoan's not the greatest. But she like leaned over and said, "Oh, do you want to go for kaele? Do you want to go for a shower?" And her face lit up, and she was like, "Oh," and she grabbed my niece and like nodded her head, and then they went and they, gave her a shower and whatnot. And for me, like it's that touch, that bedside manner. If your language can help, if whatever it is, Filipino, Indian, Te Reo, Pacifica, if it can help the patient, help with treatment, help give more clarification, I'm all for it. Um, if they said that if nurses have to speak English to each other, in the wards and whatnot, while they're on the clock, fair enough. But like if they're on their own clock, like they're having a break and stuff, let them speak their own language. If it helps the patient, I'm all for it. But it just feels like it's a theme. We claim to be multicultural, but we're just chipping away at it slowly and slowly. Like man, the ACT party is just going on it lately. New Zealand First is going on lately. This coalition government has just been chipping away, and I feel like this is just the theme. Like this, if they stop at the hospitals, what's next? But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Like it's just for me, it's like if the language can help with treatment for patients, I'm all for it. But yeah, that's my 10 cents.
I don't know if I'm triggered by this.
Yo,
Yeah, I agree with you, Eddie. Yeah, if it's because like we all guilty of it. There's times where we're working with our fellow Samoans and we might be backstabbing the person standing right next to us or who just walked past us. The Filipinos and English are exactly the same.
Yeah.
I think in the hospital setting there, like there's not translators for all ethnic groups, right? So I remember being in hospital where my old man would be no understand, like, and he can understand English. He just didn't want to talk to whoever was coming to see him. But then when it was a surgeon and the surgeon would come, the surgeon wouldn't accept that someone like from the family is going to translate. They either had to be like a minister or someone who actually was within the DHB was official translator. And every time they'd say that, sometimes like one time I walked in with my work uniform on, and the nurse said, "Oh, the surgeon's gonna come talk to your dad." Okay, so am I on the clock now? Because I'm the only one who's gonna translate. Because I can guarantee you ain't find a translator. And then they're like, "Oh no, we can find a Samoan one." Like, nah, because I already asked. So this is why I got the time off work, so you can start paying me now. I used to always throw that joke around, and then my dad would be like, just keep saying it until the doctor comes in. When he comes in, he can translate. Because I said, otherwise he's not going to come until next week, and then I'm going to be here even longer. So I think it's it's ugly, because I mean we can't call New Zealand diverse place where all cultures and languages are accepted. Where if you go into the hospital, it's almost like the surgeon doesn't want to come and make the mistake of misinterpretation and put it on himself if he fucks up. I can see that point of view, but I mean, if the DHB can't even provide interpreters to fill their void, well, they're fucked both ways, man. So to try and stomp out a language, it's like, nah. If you mean a lot of people are fed up of hearing Filipinos or Indians or Samoans inside the world talking their own language, you can understand that. Only because they're like, oh, this Fafinga's got the Eloas Muli. How many days has she not had a kaele? Or like, this Fafinga is local cool. Like, fuck, yeah, never gonna get. She's gonna be like this the whole shift, But I mean, come on, New Zealand. Like, this is why people don't want to live here, man. And there's this sort of shit. You don't want to be reading about it. I think it's even worse when you live through it, especially if you're working through it, Your heart can go out to those Filipinos, man, but some of them, all they do is just fucking like they need to be in a nail salon or a hair salon. They don't belong in the wards, man. I can tell you, man, because the amount of times my mum used to bitch and moan at those nurses, most of them being Filipino, Galofai. My mum would be like, I want to talk to the charge nurse. And he wait, he goes, because I don't know the way you're talking around me. And it's usually because they give a bit of attitude, but I mean, who doesn't give attitude? Like, who doesn't hate their job? Like, when they're in the wards dealing clean mullies and impatient patients. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a good thing for this country. But at the same time, it's like, fuck, it's almost like we're living in a place where it's just gonna get worse and worse. But yeah, I always hope that those ACT members and those New Zealand First members, they end up in hospital where there's all Filipinos and the head surgeons are Filipinos too. So yeah, good luck to them.
Well, there was a guy at North Shore Hospital who asked for a non-Asian nurse to treat him, or non-Asian staff. I was like, oh man, come on.
He doesn't start working until next month. Till they find one.
Yeah. I think it shouldn't have gone that far. It shouldn't have gone that far. There was a complaint, but then the complaint should have stopped at whoever the supervisor or the boss was, or whoever the person complained to about. Because if that person that got the complaint, right, we need to do something about this, we can't have this happening, and it's like you've just did a blanket rule for something that might not be even that bad. If this was a case of, it needs to be more investigation going on with why this complaint happened. Was it because how you have a ward and there's like maybe 6 beds in there, and maybe there's like the patient one on the bed just heard foreign languages behind a curtain on another bed, and got offended. We don't even know what the level of why this complaint happened, right? And to put a blanket memo to whole staff saying, okay, right, that's it, no, only English be spoken. It's like, what the fuck, man? All you done is made all your staff uncomfortable. All your foreign staff that are there uncomfortable with their own identity. Now I think now you've just made it worse over something that was probably so small it didn't need to go that far. So I think there's dangers in that. And what I just described might be just one scenario. I mean, there might be heaps of scenarios we don't even know, heaps of factors about it. But to me, it feels like, man, what's the big deal, man? Why do you have to do that? Now, I agree that, okay, if you want to be professional about it, maybe if it's like Filipino to Filipino talking same language, there's nothing wrong with that. In a professional setting, maybe when you're in the comfort of your lunchroom, your staff room, when no one patients around, yeah, sure, who cares? Like, what's the problem, right? So
Exactly.
you don't even know, man. You don't even know what level of complaint this was. To me, it's not even a complaint. It's just okay. It's just life, man. Like who was complaining? Sounds to me that person should be humble and just shut the fuck up because you're living in a diverse country, man. Like, and if that person that you said, Eddie, about asking just no Asian. Okay, well, now what? We got no staff in the whole country. We're short staffed. We have to get people from overseas. There's a reason why we got whole lot of foreign nurses now, even doctors.
Yep.
Because Australia's stealing all our doctors, getting paid way more. And there was a thing in the news last week about all our doctors leaving our shores to go to Australia for better money. And Australia's going, now stuff, we need doctors, man. So if we're getting it from New Zealand, bad luck, because we can pay for more, and
Yeah.
we can pay more money for them. So yeah, it's like we're in a crisis, and the memo is not going to help, man. The memo like that is not going to help. We got a short staff crisis in the hospitals, man, and you just can't do this kind of stuff, man. Like,
You're
We
literally
need
showing them
we-
the door, right?
exactly.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Exactly. I got a feel for those nurses that have to read that memo and feel for what they think. Like, oh my gosh, you're just attacking, It's like, oh shit, I can't even talk to my friends anymore. Like, I'm walking on like fucking eggshells. Talk about it. You gotta be in the right headspace. You're a medical servant. Like, you gotta be in the right headspace. You can't be in there all frustrated looking after patients because you're worried about getting in trouble because you're talking your own language. It's like, what the fuck, man?
And they're already under pressure too,
Exactly.
Our health system's at a crisis, so
Yeah, so yeah, it's not a good look, and it sounds like, when you think things are going good for this country, shit like this just reminds you, nah, mate, there's still fucking we're still sorting it out, mate. It's almost like you gotta wait for that older generation to move on, eh? All those 70-plus-year-old baby boomers, balangis, who were growing up in a racist era, which normalized that kind of stuff. Like, that generation needs to go and we start living again. But that's a different conversation. Yeah. Okay, boys, moving on. So, man, that story last year, about that kid that drank that beer can full of meth and died. Wow.
Aiden.
See, I actually forgot about that story until it came back on the news. That the guy that they got, they've found the guy responsible for it. It's the Inkia guy. He showed his face on the TV. He's in the courtroom. Pleaded not guilty, man. Your thoughts, Les?
Well, firstly, man, may his spirit live in peace, man, and what a sad way to be taken from this earth. Such a giving kid to his church, to his parents, to his family. But yeah, man, like I said on the actual episode, man, whoever was responsible for distributing that stuff inside the workplace, inside those gates, should be fucking punished, man. And it's good that they finally showed a face to this guy. The guy who also was involved with the machine that has got name suppression. But nah, this guy's just being dumb. I think he's hoping that the system's gonna be fucked and that this will go to a jury. I didn't see him being released or getting an easy walk because someone died, man. Like, that is the worst case that can happen. And for him to be oblivious to what was going on, the powder that was going into the cans while they were being seen. I mean, he went and distributed it to a workplace. He had the nerve to go back and hug his family. Like, the last video I saw was a dad saying, "This guy who killed my son gave it to him and then had the fools to actually show up to my house and hug me and shake my hand." Like, come on, man. How can you say you're not guilty? How can you say you're not guilty when he clearly knew that something wasn't right? He's saying that he saw all the stuff on the floor that didn't look like, well, that doesn't look like going into it. There should be something that should be liquid form in a can and was powder. Like, come on. You can't play dumb here. And I just hope that whatever jury and whatever court he stands before, that he gets the brunt of it, man. Like, he gets the full force, no holds barred, man, because there's no way in this day and age, especially working at a DC, like, if he was there monitoring it himself, yeah, maybe if he had surveillance watching, but he knew that there was something shady going on. He can't be that Valère. I mean, especially if he had a own little factory set up for it to be seen and that. Yeah, I don't wish him any luck. I just fucking hope that they throw the fucking book at him, man.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think Leti just nailed everything on the head, man. Like, this young, gifted individual, man, like, you know, didn't drink at all, you know. I think he even asked if he could have a can or, like, you know, or something before. And then, yeah, they got offered this, and it's just quite a tragedy to have someone being lost in such a way. And this guy saying not guilty, that's more of a rub in the face, bro. Like, it just shows the lack of respect that he has. You know, to get stuff in like that, you know, it's like people in positions of power that allowed this to happen, where like he knew everything about it, like being shipped in and whatnot, whatever ring, whatever organization that he's working for, like, just this is bad, man. Like, yeah, Leti covered everything, bro. Like, I hope you know, hope the cops just punish him to the full extent of the law.
Yeah, I think it's manslaughter he's going for. So, but yeah, condolences to the family of Aiden Sagala, his name is. He was only 21 years old. But yeah, sad story. I hope justice is being served. But when I heard that he's pleaded not guilty, I was like, what? Just because you weren't directly giving the can to the kid, but you're responsible for a tray of beer that had methamphetamine in it, so he's probably arguing that he didn't know or something like that. But still, it's pretty dodgy, and I think it's a clear-cut case because the evidence against him is huge. They've got CCTV on him, and you know they've got him shaking hands with criminals and that. So, so it feels like a clear-cut case. It's probably his lawyers trying to get him a better sentence with his not guilty plea or something like that. Because so see what happens to his ass in a few weeks. Yeah, man. So so I guess this is the topic that Simon the Money's been waiting for. So
wait, let me load my magazine. Here we go.
So it's been a week now, boys, since what's her name, Hana Schmidt. Hana Schmidt, she's Afakasi, yeah. So anyway, Hana Schmidt, she unloaded an opinion on her podcast, Blue Waves podcast from Blue TV. I'm not sure if they're like a mainstream platform or they're a Pacifica platform, eh? Blue TV, they've got stuff on YouTube and that. But yeah, she unloaded they had a snippet of one of her podcasts. She does a podcast called Breaking Waves, and I first saw it when Stephen Situ, he came on there. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw some snippets of it, and she's had a few other Pacifica leaders on and people from the community, South African community, to come on the show to talk about their life and work and all that kind of stuff. So it's one of those podcasts where, you know, if you want some inspiration, you hear other successful Pacifica people talk about their stuff. So it was like it was kind of surprising to me when she had a snippet come up last week on just about her opinion on what she felt about New Zealand-born Samoans and Afakasi Samoans that need to be humbled. Need to be humbled because why? Because we're too entitled or something like that. Yeah, and I thought, well, wow, shit, that's a bit of a generalization there. Like she says, not all, but a lot. Okay, so you know a lot. You know everybody then, do you? Okay, so,
Yeah.
but yeah, man. But before I get my take on it, I want to see where you guys at, because it's been a week now. So us talking about it now seems like old news, but we can sort of preface this topic by talking about the reactions other people have had this whole week, because I'm sure our first reactions will be the same, and then a week gone past, you think about it and all that, our probably thoughts will be different now, or we let other people in the community already had our opinion anyway. So yeah, what was your thoughts on that, Eddie?
Oh man, like there was so much going on, bro. Like she brought up some good points. I'll give her that. Like, yes, you have to serve your family, your village, um, but it's that service. It's up to interpretation. But yeah, I saw I think the cowboy respond to it. The real BDF. Yeah, all the celebrities, David Attila, I responded to it. Like it was huge. It was massive. The one thing I liked about it was it sparked debate between Samoans. It kind of unified us in a way. Not just Samoans, Tongans, Niueans, Tokelauans. Like everyone jumped in, and they were talking about like what it means to be humble, what it means to be an islander born in this country. So I like the debate. I always love healthy debate. But yeah, she said that Samoans in New Zealand, majority of New Zealand born, need to be humbled. That was one part. The second part I broke down was we use the gifts of our culture, and then the other one she mentioned is mostly Afakasti uses a thing called a code switch. When we're in positions of power, and that we need to go back home and basically learn our culture, or if we are in positions of power, we should bring others into that space. But it's the way she articulated it was quite aggressive. She herself sounded entitled. The way she said it. For me, I've most of my family are Afakasti, so in some of the family chats, a lot of the family were a little bit hurt, and they had friends that are Afakasti that are a bit hurt about it because some Samoans who are raised in Afakasi families don't really get time to dive into Samoan culture. Yet they do everything that is culturally Samoan. They'll help their mum and dad out. They'll do stuff like that. But they're on their own journey of trying to reconnect with their island side, and she's kind of ripped open that trauma. But for me, being an islander, these three things. Well, this is my personal opinion. Tautua, which is service, helping mom and dad, helping siblings, or sending little money back to Samoa, or even just visiting Samoa. Second one is whaolalo, respect. Listening to your elders, their viewpoints, compromising for the collective clan, making sure all people are heard and respected. Um, you know, us islanders, we're clan-based people. And the lastly is alofa. So it's like, showing love for your family, sending messages, turning up to family functions, like Leti was saying, with the kids playing sports and whatnot, and how all his family turn up. That is alofa, that is love. And when we get gifts, we call it me alofa. It's gifts of love. So those three things, for me, are the main three pillars. And, that's all about family, ainga. But she's just, I don't know, she's dropped some good points, but man, like the way she went about it, like it's pretty bad. Um, and for us to be humble, I don't know, man. I think we've been humble for too long. I think we've let the Germans come in, we've let the New Zealanders come in. We've been humble enough, for too long. it's time for us to be a bit more bold, to express ourselves onto the world stage. One of my good friends, Vaughan Iono, he shared something in the chat, and he goes, "If being humble, I want to see my usos thrive," and that was powerful, man. And we by nature we are always humble, but like there are times where we need to be bold, and I think this chick kind of like hit some good points, but she's totally missed the delivery. But yeah, that's my 10 cents on it. That's quite a lot to unpack here. Yeah. But yeah, how about you guys?
That was heavy, bro. I thought it was I don't know. I wrote this all down, man. But yeah, I had mixed feelings about it. But I'll just read what I wrote, man. Like my love for her 2 cents, which has no monetary value here in New Zealand, as a first generation born Tokelau Samoan that lives out on Territory South. I give her props for having the guts to use her platform to learn and to learn something that Cams is so great at, and that's clickbait. They literally took that snippet, put it into a reel, and got the world to come and click on it. And that's what producer Cams is great at. Like, many of our past episodes with ours, the amount of people coming at us, man, would laugh because we know they didn't watch the whole segment. They didn't even watch the whole episode. So I congratulated her of graduating from Cams clickbait class to use. Well, he's been podcasting the last few years. But first of all, to overshadow Nguyen Language Week with what she delivered, I think is selfish. Like she ought to come out and say, sorry for doing that, because even though it had it wasn't intentional, But the one thing I had picked up on was like, who hurt her, man? Like, who hurt her? Who closed the door on her, or who promised her stuff that she didn't belong in that room? And that Afakasi person turned to the table and then sided on the other side for her to express how she felt in that moment. Because it sounds like she's obviously been through something. Because she's obviously chucked all her Afakasi under the bus. And it's almost like she had no remorse or like no ill feel. Like she might say, "Oh, that's not how I meant it," but the way it came out was the way. From what I heard, is like shit. Something obviously happened to her in a space where she's been promised something, and they haven't lived up to their word, But in terms of being humble, like fuck, that's an entitled. Like shit, my parents left their beautiful home back in the islands to come and start for us something over here. Like that generation there, and then like it'd be like Cam's parents too. That generation that came literally built us a life. Like how can you say humble when like Ranoi back in the day to what it is now? It's like, can you imagine that there was all trees there and now that's a city? That's literally a city, man. We're like the Mangry of West Auckland. That's what Ranoi is. So I didn't take offense to it. I wasn't butthurt by it. But I know who I am as a Samoan, And like I thought some of the stuff she was saying was a bit milder. Like, man, she's sober and she's saying this shit. Like, this new filter coming, But to use the platform, I just thought, man, like on here, I've learned to process what comes out of my mouth and not give a fuck about how it comes out and how I say it, because I'll own it, you know what I mean? But I'll never go back and apologize for it. Like, it would be big if she does that. But then she's gone, fired the shot without thinking about where it's gonna hit. I think that's a sad part that she's gonna have to live with, and I'm not gonna jump on her anymore because, man, to hear Dave come out the way he came at it, like no one has the right, man. Like that's the given, man. No one has the right to tell you how Samoan or how West Auckland, how Ranui, how custom you are. To me, no one has that right, For me, it's like when it comes to culture, like Samoan and being I laugh it off, man, because I know who I am, Identity-wise, I know who I am. But when people come at me about being Ranui and custom, bro, fuck, I'll take it to another level, man. It's like, hell fucking no, because that's what I'm about, man. Like, what we went through in the time that we walked through these gates is something that only the boys that walk through the gates experience, But, I mean, she's entitled to whatever she feels because it's her opinion. And that's only one person's opinion. So to all the people who were triggered by it, the only voices you should be listening to are the ones inside your house, man. You know what I mean? Or your parents. Like, she's nothing to you. She's not your family. Fuck, who gives a fuck? It don't mean shit. It's just an opinion. Carry on about your life, man. Like, fuck, we shouldn't be flexing on her about being Samoan. If you know you're Samoan, they thought of Samoan 685 to the world, fuck, that's more than enough. What a Samoan is to me is someone who's proud, someone who sees another Samoan doing well. Fuck, that's us. But I feel sorry for it because I felt like, man, there we go doing it again, you know? And the only person I saw on social media saying, nah, we're not arguing, we're debating, was Lorenzo, you know? And but that's what makes us, you know, is we put each other down, like the crabs in the bucket. But it's just upsetting, like, that people can look at it and be offended by it. It's like, man, if you know you're someone, why are you upset? It's just a chick talking smack on her platform. That was the only hard bit that I took reading all the comments, especially because it's a lady, you know, so it's a lady, Samoan lady, you know, and that's probably the evil that social media has, is that we can go and do that to another Samoan lady. Because if that was one of my kids, man, I would feel a certain way, you know what I mean? But yeah, through my lens, it's like the only pala she's looking through is the window that she's, and it's the side of the window that she's looking out at, you know? Because from where we're sitting, like, hey, it's just an opinion that's on her. But yeah, it's just sad that whatever hate she felt when she was obviously lived through that trauma, and whatever moment she had the right to throw us all under the bus. Yeah, I just thought, man, galofai. But yeah, well, it is what it is, eh? She can't take it back.
Facts.
I've got a couple of angles on this topic, and but firstly, I just want to say, like, there's this thing called the marketplace of ideas, and it's something that I believe in, and it's to do with like free speech, right? And the marketplace of ideas is a place where you get your thoughts or opinions or ideas out there in the world. The world judges it, because if it's good or bad, you'll know if it stays there or gets taken out of the arena. So when I think about podcasts, I think podcasts are a platform for anybody to chime in into the marketplace of ideas, no matter how stupid or how polarizing or whatever the opinion is, because you have a right to do it, because it's a free market, right? It's a free market, so you can put your stuff out there, and that's the power of a podcast. And that is what podcast has different to mainstream media. Well, mainstream media has rules. You can't swear, you can't say your thoughts, you can't upset the sponsors that pay thousands of dollars to the platform to get their message across, and it might not even be your idea. So a podcast is a platform where you can say whatever you want, and that's what I appreciate. That's what WesWes Network is based on, that we can come on our platforms and say whatever we want, and then that opinion can be shut down or sort of nurtured if it's a good idea or not. So yeah, I didn't appreciate them shutting down their episode though, because if you go on the YouTube page, it's gone. I saw the whole thing because I wanted to, because you know the context thing, how you put a snippet up just to get it's clickbait, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to have context, you got to actually go in and see the whole thing. Well, they've taken it off, man, so you can't even go in and see the whole thing.
Yeah.
So we're always big on, hey man, you got to believe in what you say, you got to stand on what you say. If you say it, you know, it's up to the public to say it's good or bad, you know, and for you to think otherwise, because you can't throw in an idea. If you have an idea, you have to test it, right? If it's a good or bad one, and if it's a bad one, then it makes you rethink it, right? Well, the sad thing about this is we will never know if Hana thinks this is a bad idea, what she said, because of all of the backlash she's gotten for her idea. Now they've cut the episode out, and she's not apologized or not responded to anything. Now we don't know if she learned anything, or if she actually believes what she said. So to me, I think it was Dave Leti who said on that video, if you look on his caption, he says, "Oh, is this clickbait, or is this a clickbait thing, or is this her real thoughts?"
Yeah.
We don't know. So is their podcast fake or not? Unless you stand on what you say, how can you be trusted in the end? Are they a mainstream platform? Is that why they took it off? Did they take it off because they were just I don't know, scared of all the backlash, and they took it off. I don't believe in that. If you want to say something, if you believe in it, you say it, and you let that opinion get thrown around out there, and you can sort it out. Otherwise, it will never be sorted out. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, this was a good test for all those podcasts out there that had something to say about what she had to say, because if you look at what's trending in podcasting in the Pacific arena in New Zealand, is a lot of mainstream guys are coming down to have their own podcasts, right? For example, Nixon and Nate, they've come and done their own podcast, set their own podcast. So now, because they're in the podcast, they can say whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
So when they brought this subject up, when they were interviewing Regan Fuai in their latest episode, and it was New and Language Week, and they asked Regan what he felt about Hana Schmidt thing on Blue TV, it was a chance for them to show us their real opinions on the matter, because Nixon is straight Afakasi, so it applies to him too, what his thoughts were. Now he said something, Nate said something, Nate didn't even say his opinion, he's the one that brought it up, but he sort of like went around the bush, he didn't really give his honest opinion, you know. So for me, they sort of like failed the test, because a platform like a podcast, you have to say what you feel, say whatever you want, because who cares, right? It's just your opinion, right? So that was the other thing. But man, just the unity, like you guys were saying, of everybody chiming in on this comment, just showed me how loving our community is for our people, you know, our identity, and that's a strong, sensitive thing when it comes to identity, especially for Afakasis, because a lot of them on their journey, especially through identity, they're sort of lost there. A lot of them are lost between who to lean towards, their Palangi side or their Samoan side, you know, because it's like two different worlds that they have to navigate through. And some have it bad than others. Some don't even know anything. Some do. Some are struggling between the two. So there's a lot of variables there. Just the same as there's a lot of variables in how you think you're Samoan enough for anything, and that's stupid, man. And I don't know, but that's been the argument for ages. Like, if you don't know the argument, then where have you been? Like, are you just lying to yourself when you say stuff like that? When you say that you're not Samoan enough if you don't do this, don't do that? It's like, what? Who says that? Who says that? Like, the Nazis have said that, you know? It's like for years, like, oh, it's like, so to me, she can't be that stupid to say something like that. She can't be. Yeah. She looks educated. You know, she's a good broadcaster. She's on that show. She has good guests on her show talking about their struggles, being what they are, and that's the same thing. Like, are you telling them to be humble too, because they're too entitled in their sort of journeys? I don't know, man, but it just seems like clickbait to me. Like, something stirring up just to get this type of reaction, and I don't think they thought this reaction will happen, this big of a reaction will happen. But they got a platform that reaches a lot of people anyway, so. But now even more people now, so. Yeah, it's, when I think back on the past week, on what's going on, man, it's all over social media, all over TikTok, people are chiming in. So I don't think I need to say anything about what I think, because everybody else has said it. You know, if I say something, it's going to be the same as someone else. So. But I don't agree with what she said. But I agree with the platform she said it in. It's just that they didn't go all the way. They took it off. They should have left it on. She should have stood on her thoughts and just let that ride. You have to.
Yeah, Afakasis have taken us to another level, man. You know, half cast, you know, The Rock, he's Afakasi. He's put Samoa on the world stage with, you know, the Moana movies and Hobbs and Shaw and whatnot. Like, he's brought that culture to places that no one in the islands could even think of, you know, certain parts of Europe and whatnot. Personally, I've got Afakasi cousins that have done so much for our village back home, you know. And it's just, I don't know. It's just, she just shot, like, from the hip. And, like, I was trying to look for the video, I couldn't find it, eh? But, to say like New Zealand-born Samoans are not humble. Have you not watched the Australians? I'm pretty sure they're more outspoken than we are, or the American Samoans. But yeah, like what you said, Cams. I'm loving the debate that it's stirred amongst the Polynesian community, not just Samoans, man. Like everyone is just. I really love the debate that people have online, and like it's actually good debate. It's not like hate or anything. It's like people out there defining what it means to be Samoan, what it means to be Pacific Islander. And I think this is a discussion that everyone needs to have, to find yourself. Like, don't let anyone else, like, tell you how to find yourself. If you have one drop of blood in you that is Samoan, you are Samoan, regardless. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the obvious thing I disagree on. But the other thing I disagree on is her saying you need to be humble. Because you're right, Eddie. Like, I don't believe in humble anymore. Like, no one cares anymore.
Yeah.
No one cares. It's like a cultural thing, but then who made it a culture? Right? I mean, it can be changed. And this world now, you're not going to go anywhere if you're humble now. People have on social media, like, set the bar now. Like, take Steven Settle, for instance. He's not humble. Hey, the stuff he says on his social media, he's not humble. But now, how you going to beat that? You got to do better than him. You got to be louder than him now.
Yeah.
You got these people that are on social media that have done stuff, like skits or whatever, like influencers or whatever it is, or even Hana, like what she's done. That's not a humble thing, what she said. It's not humble at all. But you need to be like that now to get attention. You need to be like that to, probably get your message across, even if it's good or bad now. So,
even for Afakasis to be in those positions of power, they couldn't be humble to get there. They had to fight for those positions, get those qualifications to be in positions of power, or whatever she says.
Yeah, but I think her point was because they're of the color of their skin, it's easier for them to get into positions of power, and if they've got a German last name or English last name, Chinese last name, probably not even Chinese, English or German last name, then you can probably get through without even. Those Indians that change their name. There's Indians with Muhammad on their name, and they change their name on their CV just to try and get the job.
Bill Matthews.
Yeah. Or just like that guy Eddie that talked that said his name at the Chinese barbecue.
Sorry. Well, that was my use of the brown card. My code switch.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I think that was the moment in sort of like pop culture this year so far, that humble thing. Because humble's been around for a long time. The people have challenged that. Israel Adesanya, he challenged it in the speech he gave when he won that award, the Sportsman Award. So it's got people thinking. Yeah, but I think it's gotten to the point. I think it's gotten to the point where you don't know, even though people don't know the meaning of what humble is. Now,
Well, by nature, we've always been humble, but we need to step up. If you're not going to ask for a pay rise, you're never going to get it. You're not going to work 30 years of not saying anything. They're not going to give you a pay rise. They're going to keep you a minimum, and, But, like, even Samoa, the Mo movement, First peaceful protest, like, way before Nelson Mandela did his. By nature, we are humble. Come on, man.
See, boys. Any more thoughts on that? We end it now. This is the last comment from anyone in our community. We're the final. We take the last response. We represent our community. We're going to represent our community right now. We'll take the last response. This is the last response. No one's allowed to talk about it anymore. We're the last ones. Yep. Cut over and out.
Okay. I just want to share this. I wanted to share the audio that I saw on someone's page, and I thought that's my response. Just stick to one, man. That's all I can say. Just stick to one.
The gear was still in the pool, man. Damn.
Yeah, man. Shit. Sorry, Nuians. You have another week next week. Yeah. Have another week. We'll do another week for you guys. Unofficial week. You get 2 weeks.
They get a month, man.
Did you guys catch the Kangaroos and Tonga game? What you guys thoughts on the game? Because at halftime score 6-0, Tonga was still in it, eh? Still had a chance.
No, this Tonga's still good, man. Still some big bruises in the squad, but just some of the old boys are just getting a bit on. There was a few missed tackles near the end of the second half, but despite the score, I thought the game was quite close, quite evenly matched. Yeah, just Dearden. Oh my god, dude was on fire. You know that little pump fake he did to get that try. Whew, fooled me. But awesome game, eh? I'm looking at
Yeah, Australia were behind in all the stats in the first half, end of the first half.
Mm.
They were behind in all the stats, but they were ahead on the scoreboard though. So to me, yeah, Tonga had, if they kept that up, they were doing something right. If they kept that up, they probably have maybe scored a try. But I thought their opportunities, they missed a few opportunities, eh? They got on the Kangaroos line. I think maybe those 2 kicks that Katsua had went out on the full or went out of bounds there.
Yeah, I thought the option, especially inside the 10, like them trying to play their backdoor play that they pretty much most teams in the NRL do. Like you could have just gone short, like hit the runner short, especially when you got guys like Vanilla Blake that are doing these runs. Like why would, like at the Warriors, he would be the first option. You just throw him the short ball, then try and throw it behind him. Like who else in that team could have made made the line like from behind the ball? Like no one hitting the ball at pace. And just those crucial errors, like the ball's not sticking, like the pass is not going to hand. Like you could tell he's good at holding the ball up, but executing the pass was what let them down. And that's probably the difference between like a great team and teams that can't do the basics properly, Whereas all they had to do was just hit the short runner. They would have, especially with the runners that Tonga did have in the first half. Like you'd be stupid to keep throwing a missed ball to the guy who wasn't Aiden like the prop of the year? Like that makes no sense to me. So yeah, I thought centers wise they could have gone with Talakai instead. I reckon that like more mongrel on the flank, on that left side with Tupou. But yeah, I think the momentum
Even
of the game
Stags,
changed. Yeah, that shows like the guys like him, like obviously draw cards to any team. Like if you're Lucy and your center are a strong pairing on one side, bro, Australia should be trying to jam that left side of the field all the time. But why? And then obviously when Turbo scored, like in fact there was nothing down his side, so he obviously hit the legs to just score when he did. But I mean, it's a good start to their campaign. I mean, keeping Australia at their scoreline, like that's pretty good. Be interesting to see what the next games show after the Putty got pumped. Like the Comos and Putty game, that's like wow. And they had a good team right across the park, Fiji.
Yes, I'll make shout out to the Manly Seagulls players that played in that game. So, like, honest man, Ola Kawatsu, he was a beast. He was hard to stop.
Oh, bro.
He was making meters, and man, when he smashed the Lindsay Collins in the first 10 minutes, I think he's struggling to get up.
I think everyone in the crowd Lindsay was going holding their stomach after they saw that.
Yeah. And then he even did a hit on Turbo as well. He's going, oh man, no man, don't. Nah. But nah, even Lehigh Hopewadi had a good defensive game. He got off of a yellow card though, when he was found offside. He wasn't straight off the mark, when he made that tackle. But he did that he did a try saving tackle on Turbo as well.
Yeah.
So there was a few held up, like
their first half, Tonga were good, man, under the pump in their opening 25. Like that's good, Like, and I think week to week they should get stronger defensive, but it's just whether they can execute their third and fourth plays, because they turn the ball over fifth and final every time, 4 times in their first half, like stuff like that. Either put it up or put it along the ground, but getting tackled with the ball when they've run out of gas because they can't flick the ball out. Like this is the sort of plays that make you frustrated as a coach, especially as a player.
Yeah. Yeah, then I watched the Fiji game the next night. I had some money on Fiji, but wow, not waste of money.
No, solid. Especially with that camera angles all the way back however many. It's like it was being filmed like next door, man. Fuck. It's like, I saw it on my phone. I was like, surely this is not Sky TV, please. I came home and watched it. I was like, get fair, yes.
But yeah, Samoa Fetsu, they won their game against Tonga. That was I watched a little bit of that. So I was watching the Wellington and Waikato game on the other channel. But yeah, man, did you guys catch any other sports?
Just that PYC youth, the Pacific Cup youth grade under 17s on the weekend. Yeah, it was a bit of a mixed bag. Yeah, I think the Māoris and Fiji were undefeated, but then Fiji lost to Tokelau today. I think Tonga Development was playing the Nuens, and the Nuens beat Tokelau, lost to Fiji. So I'm not too sure who would have made that final. But yeah, shout outs to all the parents getting down to support their kids, man, because this is the back end of the year, right? So after first 15 season and club, then you've got the condos coming up. But it's an awesome event, hey. I know the Warriors invested in a lot of the kids during nationals, but this was pretty good, man. Like to see the nephews and they come up from Wellington and Hutt to make up the Tokelau team. I thought it was awesome, eh? There was a boy, he's actually from Auckland, but he's boarding down at Wanganui Boys. Fucking a monster of a boot, hey. Couple of kicks, he was taking back 40 meters from the sideline, and he was cooking them from the sideline. These were going higher than the post, bro. And Bay Roscoe posts are like full posts. Like, fuck. Out of it. Apparently he plays rugby as well. So now it's good to see a mix of talking about talent, man, in the works, and a lot of them being like another 2 years in that grade.
Remember the commentator was talking about Sione Katsua, same thing. He came from rugby union, so he's got a good boot on him. And you can see with his kicks why they went over out of bounds, eh? Because it was like strong kicks, like powerful kicks, eh? So, And shout outs to what's his name, Andrew Johns, who had I heard him in the commentary saying, "Oh, this kid's gonna be New South Wales number 7, future number 7." Come on, mate.
Man.
On my feed, I've been getting some snippets of Stephen Crichton's wedding. Yeah. And I see Jerome Luai in the wedding. I don't think he was in the line, but he was there as a guest. So for all the people thinking, man, how come he's in the tour team not going to the wedding? But now there he is. He's there in the wedding. So good. Then I saw another video of the tour of Samoa boys on the bus. They just got off the plane in England. They're on the bus having a song and dance.
Yo.
Hey, like they usually do. And see Roger jumps in, takes his shirt off and jumps in too. So it's good to see the boys getting ready for their game against England next week. Next week, Saturday. It's probably our early morning, but yeah. So looking forward to that. And just reminding, I think it was one of the commentators reminding us next year, the Rugby League World Cup. I think next year? Or 2026, eh?
Yeah.
Or 25.
I think it's 26, is it? Or could be next year already. Damn.
Wait, I'm just... Yeah, 26. 2026. And then to preview next week, got the All Blacks playing, eh? Next week against Japan, I think. First game against Japan. Sweet boys, shall we get into some Fia Poko of the week? Let's go, let's.
I'll just put these at the top. Yeah, man. I missed a couple from last week. I thought I'd save them for this week. There's been quite a few Fia Pokos on social media, and I put my Instagram on a timer, man, because otherwise I'll be sitting there for ages going through them. But there was a guy. He's obviously trying to jump over a what looks like a barrier on a road into the what looks might be the creek. Now most bridges, right? They have a pedestrian walkway, rail, then the awala. So this guy's I don't know if he thought he was going to make the jump or not. So he's making his run up from the other side of the road over the handrail, pedestrian crossing, and then the next handrail. And he obviously misjudges the jump, man. And I was like, gullified. Like, people, this summer, don't dive. Don't dive unless you can see the water. But he's just diving straight into the rail. Like, oh my gosh. Now you can see how far he ran, but if you can't see the water from the road, yeah, oh my God. That's oh my gosh. But yeah. But to the person who was recording him, they should have asked him beforehand, right? Like, are you gonna try and jump from there? Like, nah. So I think that deserves Fia Poko. Like, I tried it as a when he lied on his TV, but when I actually watched it again, I go, nah, that's just straight Fia Poko. Eh? Like, why you do that, mate? Another one is it's the game show. It's a game show, and it's possibly the most embarrassing answer seen on TV. So the host asks the question, and then he turns to ask
company makes rebels.
his teammate. He's obviously got the wrong answer, but the thing is, the wrong answer is not enough for him. So he takes it upon himself to answer the question. I was like, oh my, you can't make this shit up, man. Like, just, I don't know.
What confectionery company makes rebels?
Can't think of another. Mars. She said Cadbury. Mars.
Cadbury. She said Cadbury. Mars. That's exactly what Fiona said. Mars. Okay.
Well done.
What confectionery company makes rebels?
Cadbury?
Stop the clock. That is wrong. Take your time.
She got it wrong.
Company makes rebels.
He just heard it right.
Can't think of another. Mars. She said Cadbury. Mars.
Cadbury.
Oh my God. It gets funnier and funnier.
That's what Fiona said.
Just a word to the wise. If you go on a TV show, actually learn how they do the fucking show. Don't embarrass yourself and your family. Fuck me, man. Honestly, I thought that was the funniest thing ever. Eh? And then I think the last one I've got up here is it's like, I don't know if this guy's drunk or not, but he thought it would be cool if he jumped on top of a basketball hoop and tried to do a backflip into the swimming pool. I don't know if he did physics or not at school, but obviously when you launch off something that's got a spring, it's obviously going to take you more than 1.5 meters. And the swimming pool was like directly underneath. So when he obviously gets airborne, he obviously goes like 3 meters. But the sad thing is, the pool doesn't even look 3 meters. It only looks like 1.5 meters, 2 meters. But yeah, I just thought, man, that's why you don't show off. You just... And it's the reaction from me.
And it's like concrete, fam.
Stupid, man. I'll just leave it to you guys, bro. Like, how stupid can he be? Oh, actually, there's one more. There's one more. There's this guy. He's obviously got a nice fleet of cars that he likes to show off, and then one of his mates thought it would be funny if he pranked him, so he went and got a can, and he went and volleyed one of his favorite cars that's parked outside the house, and I think the Fia Poko is on the prankster. So this is the reaction that he got from his mate when he went and volleyed his mate's car. I think it's priceless, eh? But yeah, I just thought that's from pranks gone wrong.
Oh no.
He's like going to heaven with the amount of times he's lashing at the guys from Malama, eh? Like, I thought, man, but that's why you don't play, eh? That's the thing with this generation, they play too much.
What? How am I gonna get this home? I gotta get this towed. I guess I deserve that. Homie, is he out here?
Yeah.
Bro, look. It rubs off. It's spray chalk, dude. It's not real. See that? It comes off like nothing.
Let's not pay for it.
No, I'll pay for it. No, you don't gotta pay for it. No. Stop! Homie! What are you doing? Oh my God! Stop! Omi, stop! Put the bat down!
You know, I'll be honest.
No, it's freaking spray
That's
chalk.
that's something I would do.
It's spray chalk. It's not real.
I wouldn't offer to pay for it. I wouldn't offer to pay for it, but I wouldn't react like
Look at
that.
your cars. Come here. Stop. Seriously. Come look.
I'll come back. Hold on. I'm mad.
I'm mad.
Stop following me.
Holy shit.
But yeah, man, that's just why you don't play with Islanders, eh? Islanders don't play like that. But yo, just thought that was funny, yes.
How am I gonna get this home?
I'll leave it to you guys, man. You can title who the Fia Poko is this week, mate.
Man, I'm going for the guy that jumped off the swimming pool, missed the swimming pool.
Nah, I'm going for the guy that tried to jump into the water from the
On
street.
the road. Oh my gosh.
Surely, the man must have paced it out. Be like, yeah, I think I can do that. So he looks similar after his run up.
Nah, man, I have to give it to that the ulukula with the long hair, with the Hulk Hogan moustache, who leaned over to ask the lady, "What other confectionery company? What the hell?" We'll stop the clock. She just said Cadbury, and then he said Cadbury. See, guy. This is gonna be, gosh, man, can't make this shit up here.
Okay, boys. Next we got local hero. Eddie, you've got one.
Oh man, like it was brought to me by one of the our listeners, one of my boys, Graham DiPiazzi. He's like said that this was all over the media in Australia. This guy called Ned Brockman. He did laps around the field, around the track. He did 1,600 kilometers, and he raised 2.6 million for homeless people in Sydney. And this guy is like, man, what a hero, bro. It's just a sparky. But it sparked a debate with me and my mate, like for the podcast, like what would we do? You know, something outrageous to raise money. You know, like one of the ideas that got thrown around was the 24-hour podcast. A podcast every day for a month. Or a fitness journey that we had to do on the podcast, you know, like donate $100 per 1 kg. Like, it's just a brainstorm, but this guy is just inspirational, man. And like, after the heavy episode we had last week, bro, like this, when my mate sent me this, it's like, it was just like restoring faith to humanity, eh? Like, you know, it was pretty cool. Like, it was quite heartwarming seeing this guy, what he did, and the emotional toll it had on his mind, doing it. You know, I mean, I don't know if I could even walk that far. But yeah, no, this truly inspirational dude, man. This guy's unbelievable, man.
What an awesome guy. What an awesome bloke, man. Like, I think I watched that also, and I think that's what motivated me to sleep outside and experience it. Like, you know, if you don't have anywhere safe to put your head at night and just be grateful for what I have, you know. But yeah, watching that video, bro, and then seeing how many Ks on average he was doing a day, man. Like, that sort of put me in the mindset for the week. Like, if I've got a sore back, like, and I hate to say it like that, but in my mind, it was like, fuck, tough it out, man. These other guys in the work in this world who don't have a job, don't have anywhere safe to sleep, you know. But yeah, I watched it like a couple of times, bro, and it sort of like empowered me, and I thought, fuck, there's no excuse, there's no excuse to why you can't get up and do something if this guy's obviously put his body through like 13 hours a day, man, for that duration of time. So, now what an awesome shit, bro.
Shout out to Graham. Shoutouts.
So, boys, yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one, Eddie. Yeah, we'll probably discuss what we're going to do with our, either do a 24-hour podcast. Sounds good, eh?
Yo.
Sounds like, yeah, something doable, eh? Okay, man, let's go to what have you been watching? Let's go, Eddie.
I've been watching a series called From. I don't know if I've mentioned it before. The season 3's out now, so I've just been watching that, but man, the more I get into it, the better it gets. So it's like a town, that you can't escape. But everyone, that's in that town has the same story. So they're driving along the main road on the highway, going to a holiday or heading to work or heading back home, and there's a tree that blocks the way. So they end up reversing their kawale and then going a different route, and they end up in this town. And this town has one main road that goes through it, and they keep driving, and then they end up in the town again. They keep driving. It's like a unlimited loop. And season 1 doesn't really explain much, but there are like these people. So during the day, it's you're trying to survive with like other survivors that are there, trying to figure out what's going on. But at nighttime, you have to be inside your homes. You have to be somewhere, and you have to have this talisman that they discovered that keeps these people out. And at nighttime, these people walk around, and they look like equals. Like they look normal, but like once they change their form, they look like demons, eh? And like they can't enter your home. You have to open the door. You have to open the window. So they'll knock. They'll tap on the windows, or they knock, or they say, "Hey, let me in. I just want to come and say hi," or whatever. So they try to trick you to open the door. It's a pretty good series, but yeah, it's basically like reminds me of like Lost. The first couple of seasons that they were really good, but yeah, it's called From. I think you can watch it on TVNZ on demand for free. But yeah, that's what I've been watching.
Yeah, I've seen the poster for it.
Yo,
I know I'm always intrigued to watch it because I
Yeah.
like horrors. But is it scary?
yeah, it's pretty graphic.
Mm.
Especially like the aftermath of what these things can do to you. Yeah, it's oof.
In a nutshell, uneasy, sinister, and suspenseful. I'm already fefe just reading the first 2 words.
So like, I'd rather be fife at this than Unsolved Mysteries.
As soon as you said horrors, I was like, oh, okay, nah. But I wrapped up freaking Treasure Island, man.
Yo,
And man, I gotta show you love for Christian Cullen-Oos and Bubba from the Tina from Turners. Because like obviously Christian's time on the show, because Bubba didn't know who he was. Like that was cool, and like obviously they hit it off just by conversating, and obviously over time in the challenges, Christian always said to him, "Man, you just gotta back yourself. You don't know what you're capable of." And a lot of the challenges, like Bubba's like top 3, or she'll just lose, and eventually Christian said, "Don't worry, I got you." When she realized like, "Oh, are you Samoan?" Because she's looking at his tattoo, and be like, "Oh," he goes, "Oh yeah, my mom's Samoan. Yeah, man, I'm from Samoa." And like, she was like, "What?" She's no way. So they went from being like, "Hey, cuz," or brother, sister, and eventually over the show, like Cullen's beard starts getting white. He goes, so we went from besties to like father, daughter to grandpa and granddaughter. But he laughs about it, and he's always cracking jokes about it. Right? Like he's like, "Baba, you're too much." But eventually in the challenge, he ends up sending her home. So Baba makes top 4 with JP, James Ralston, and Christian. But then Cully's the one who sends her home. And this is lovely, like how the episode ended, because the challenge was to stack a whole lot of timber, and then you had to like dominoes, but it was on a board on a piece of plank, but the plank keep moving. So no matter how many times they did it, it's like they're like both swearing because they beep out a lot of the challenge. But then Christian manages to get his up before she does, and then he ends up sending Bubba home. But before that, he was like telling her, "Nah, don't worry, I'm gonna give you whatever clothes Millsy left for me, and then one of us will go through." But and then she just mocks him like, "You better be getting ready to go home." But then when the challenge finished, like first thing he said to her when he hugs her is like, "I love you," and that shows like, "Oh man, that's the way us Samoans are, eh?" But she was like crying. He goes, "What are you crying for?" But I just love you, like, "What are you crying for?" You get to get and have a shower now, Like, so it was just funny that he could make light of like the serious moment, but. Yeah, but mad respect to those guys, man. Like doing it for a charity, like Christian Cullen's charity was, I think it was a brain tumor, because brain tumor's charity, because his brother-in-law passed away of a brain tumor. Yeah, man, it was good, eh? But it was probably good seeing that JP won it, him being Tongan and that. I love that it showed like James Ralston, like bro, he was like almost down and out, like had no chance of coming back, and like Lansavelli was in his ear, like saying, "Oos, I was in the lead by like half a day and I still lost." Bro, you in this moment could come back, and this would be the biggest comeback in history. he ended up catching up. Like that's how wicked the thing was, and everything that Christian and JP were missing is what James was picking up on. So it was just a race of like trying to ellie it up and find the suitcase, man. And by that time, they pretty much had dug the area over. It got dark, and it just by chance JP just put his spade down like to have a rest, and he happened to hit the suitcase. So it was pretty like pretty intense, eh? But you could tell that the boys were over it. They were just like, oh, hurry up, man, I'm ready to go. Like, because by the time he finished, he was like, oh my gosh, I just won, man. But no, it was pretty cool ending, eh? That's pretty much the only thing I watched all week, apart from the sport. Yeah, nothing too exciting. Haven't even caught up with the full family. But I know they moved into a new location just in the apartment blocks that they're on in El Paso, so nah. Probably try and watch it after this.
Big.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, like I mentioned before, I watched those podcasts, like the Sports Cafe-ish podcast. They had Matthew Ridge on. And like I was saying, man, it was a good, entertaining hour, eh? Or was like under an hour.
Yeah.
But it was just nice and refreshing to see JK there, and we know him from we know his history being All Black and being blues coach, and we know his history in there. But more recently, him being on the breakdown, and we've all been critical of the breakdown, seeing that it's not probably the show that we want in terms of the content and the lack of criticism that's on that show.
Yeah.
But seeing him just being himself, relaxed, and throwing in some F-bombs here and there, it's like nice to see. And that's what podcasts are for, for people just to be real. Say what comes out of your head, because it's just a podcast. There's no rules. So it was awesome to hear the stories, especially the stories between Matthew Ridge talking about how he got signed to Manly Seagulls.
Yeah.
Don't know if you guys saw the episode, but man, his insight into how, because he was so young at the time, he had no idea how much you get paid. Because remember, rugby union wasn't even professional back then when he moved to the Winfield Cup, and you got asked, "Oh, so what do you? So how much do you want to get paid?" So he just thought 30K was a lot of money, so that's what he said, and he just got the deal straight away. And it was just interesting to see, just that sort of stuff, eh? So it was a nice, good conversation, honest conversation. They were just talking, having a few beers, having a good yarn. So yeah, I recommend that episode, eh? I don't really watch the other episodes. I don't know if they're good or not, but it was just cool to see, especially Mark Ellis and Matthew Ridge back together, because they're always entertaining when they were together having those shows, those TV shows back in the 90s.
It was cool how they snippet that bit about Matthew Ridge and Suzanne Brock, hey? Because we were asking him how much he was getting, and he tipped it up, and he's oh, no, I can't tell you, eh? And it's funny that after saying that, he didn't talk to him for another 20 years, eh? Or for ages. And he was like, bro, I was willing to fucking stand in front of a truck for this dude, and now he was talking to me. He was like, sad guy. But yeah, that's cool, eh? That episode is good.
Yeah. And it's called Inside A, how they were saying the culture of the All Blacks. How they were the new kids on the block. They were coming in, they're different, they're young, different attitude. When the All Blacks, the old guys, you mean business and you have to be serious, you can't talk. On the bus you're just quiet and just focused, you don't talk. And then when they said when they swapped to rugby league, they were just surprised how everyone's just casual about it, having a cigarette in the changing room.
Yeah, because that's on YouTube, babe. That's on YouTube. That when Matthew Ridge gets signed, John Kilman's the one who follows him over and records it all, and even shows him going back to Eden Park, saying farewell, and the team didn't really care, eh? And he's like, "Oh, sweet as then, I'll go back to you." But then that was Matthew Ridge's breakthrough year as a league player, but then he becomes the superstar because he becomes the kicker for the Kiwis, man, and that's the difference, eh? When he made that transition, but yeah, Trailblazers, eh?
Yeah, there's that one, and Nigel Vagna and Sella, they got their own new podcast. It's called, I said the wrong name. It's called Village Athlete Podcast. the Village Athlete podcast.
That's me, Nick. Catch you.
Yeah, and I think it's cool what they're talking about, because I know Nigel, when he finished his rugby career, he went into NRL, working for NRL as the Pacific liaison. So he was helping all the Pacific players transition into NRL, or if you're like leaving NRL, transition out of NRL, because they lacked the cultural experience for a Pacifica player. Because it's interesting, because we don't even think that, but they're all Australians over there. They don't know anything about our culture. So they just think what they think should be good for us, right? When we get in. But, but obviously it's not. So I think this podcast is good to talk about that sort of thing, like just the cultural differences in professional sport. And I was thinking, man, I'm gonna put a comment on the YouTube channel, because that stuff we talked about last week, and the stuff that came out about Jordan Lomu and his name recognition, and what his wife is doing, his widow is doing. And like, that's all about the business of sport and Pacific culture, and how it clashes, and what these players have to look out for and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that'll be a good topic for those guys to have a yarn about too, man. But yeah, man, that's the Village Athlete podcast out there.
That's good
for you guys to check out. All right, boys, last words. Let's get ready.
Oh man, last words. I never really thought about that much. I was gonna say a joke and just say be humble, but nah, man. Like my last words is probably just just be kind to one another, man. Respect each other's opinions, I guess. But don't be afraid for a healthy debate. Don't be scared to stand by what you say, man. Like there's no right or wrong, really. It's just your opinion, and if someone challenges it, then let it be. It's a healthy debate. So I think everyone needs to listen a bit more.
Yeah.
Just listen to other people's opinions before you shoot your one. Because I always learn. Like I learning off you guys, listening to you guys and your opinions. Like it's helped evolve my opinion on things. So yeah, just be kind, just listen, and don't be afraid for a healthy debate. Yeah, that's me.
Me, Noose. I just wanted to acknowledge the cousin Mona. I was like, when I had a photo of my nephew, and I had a look at one of the twig sleeves, and I saw the Barbecue Bros emblem massive on the sleeve of the Tokelau jerseys. Awesome stuff, cuz. Like, I think the work that you do for your business, and just providing for these boys to have a playing strip, I think it was awesome. Like, it's a beautiful touch. But yeah, and also to all those boys that traveled to come up and play in this tournament, the Pacific Cup tournament. Like, there wasn't this stuff around when me and the coaches were playing back in the day. But it's just awesome for the kids to just want to represent Tokelau, and knowing that a lot of those boys are actually Tokelau heritage or blood, So yeah, continue to strive and put island on the map, man. In that field. My last words is just to just to most of my Tug family, man. It was awesome to catch up with everyone over the weekend. It's good to see the nephew come up and flex, man. Like, I know his grandpa would be so proud of him. Like, it's funny because his grandpa is like such a pillar in our community. I know he got like a award during the Queen's birthdays some time ago. He got acknowledged for his service to the Tui community in Puerua. Yeah, it was just awesome to catch up with the cousins, and especially to the cousins of Kuso and Josh. Yeah, just my last words is anyone putting their hand up to be volunteers in any sports space, go into that space knowing that not to expect anything back. I think a lot of things that people do, like when they're volunteering, is have a sort of expectation that they want to be thanked, and they want everyone to bow down to them, and this is the coach, blah blah blah, and all that. But I think volunteering your time is volunteering your time, and that's your heart, and whatever you put in is what you will get out of it. But don't have the expectation of something in return. You just want to leave those with my closing words. But yeah, you know what it is. Get late and not live it.
Thanks, Usos. Yeah, my last words, just off the back of what you said, Eddie. Opinions and all of that. I think one thing we need to change in our culture, especially in New Zealand, is we got to get rid of this tall poppy syndrome. You know, we gotta get rid of it because it doesn't do anyone good. And part of it is not speaking out if you believe in something, but you're too scared to because other people will shoot you down. That's the definition of tall poppy syndrome, the shooting down part. For us here on, I believe, in the WesWes Network, there's platforms to, if you feel strongly about an idea, you want to get it out there to find support or to find a better idea. But you can't do it unless you get it out there, right? And it doesn't help when people shut that idea down. So that's the tall poppy syndrome. So we've got to get rid of that. You know, so yeah. Appreciate you guys jumping on the podcast and giving your opinions. That's what we're here for. And hopefully that's the inspiration we give out to everybody that tunes in and listens to the Empty Out the Clip podcast, because we're all about emptying out our clips on all our opinions and hope that other people can do that as well. So cheers, boys. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Thanks.
Zeus.